Screen. That's the one. Hello, guys, and welcome to round 7 of the ACC League. Today we are at the very wet Zandvoort. So this should be an interesting one from forward guys and girls. And I've got a bit of a small grid on it. Waiting for still a couple more drivers to turn up. Hopefully they will do. But it's going to be a very treacherous one. It is going to look like it's going to be raining for the entire event. So the start's going to be very interesting. Current fastest driver on track is Leshman with a 151.717. Again, we are just in free practice at the moment. As you say, that Jaroslav Galkov just put a new time in of a 150.3 in his McLaren. Currently looking at Mr. James Dowling in his Audi. He's got a new paint job for today's race. So has Mr. Canastep. Also in the box with me tonight, as always, is Josh.
Hello.
Oh, there he is. See, he is here.
Yeah. Think I'm not.
Just gonna bring up your mic volume on my end, just so it comes through a bit louder. There we go.
A bit. I'm good.
Yeah, that's it. We're all good now.
Alright, so yes, we are here at the ZM.com Circuit Zandvoort. If I'm right, it's the only track in the world that's got .com in its name, which is very interesting indeed. But yes, we are in Zandvoort, North Holland, the country known as the Netherlands.
That we are. As it looks like we have Mr. Chris Generali now behind James on the lap. But we'll have a look through the rest of the grid. So we also have Aleshmum, who is currently the fastest car on track. What is very surprising considering it's Alesh.
Yep. This track itself has been open since 1948, August 7th to be precise. So August 7th next year is going to be celebrating its 75th anniversary.
Yeah, and a lot has changed since then on that original layout. That much that the layout that we're running today is not even the current layout, because obviously it now has the banked turns of turn 4 and the final turn. But unfortunately our versions that we have here in the Assetto Corsa competition do not have. So the guys are going to be struggling on those corners where the bank curves now will absolutely help you pull you around the corners. But here, especially today, it's going to be very hard for the guys to control the cars. Especially coming out of this corner here, you're going to have the guys lifting quite a lot here just to get the car to not want to slide out onto the grass and into the tile. As Chris Generali nearly puts it just a little bit too wide, but kept it on there. Also guys, if you don't follow the social medias of Assetto Corsa Competizione and our Discord, Assetto Corsa Competizione just dropped a DLC teaser video. Yes, a teaser video for the next DLC one is going to come out on the 30th of this month. And in that teaser video we see Circuit of the Americas, we see Watkins Glen, and we see Indianapolis. So, from my guess, and it's a massive guess because everyone knows about it pretty much, we are having GT World Challenge America. But what other circuits are going to come? There's quite a few that could be available. We just have to wait and see from the full DLC trailer when that comes out. But at the moment, Aleshman is still fastest on track. Callum McLeod is in second. Jaroslav Galkov, he's in third. Chris Generali, he's in fourth. Kenna Step in fifth. James Dowling in sixth. Natalie Lee in seventh. Heiko Sherman in eighth. And Stephen McAfee in ninth. Currently, Natalie hasn't got a lap time in. Heiko does have a lap time in, but it is very slow. But also his lap time was a pit out lap, and then he's jumped back to the pit, so that's not a good one. This is the helmet cam from Jaroslav Galkov in the McLaren. So this corner here, on the new layout, this corner is banked heavily. Unfortunately, in the model we have in ACC, it doesn't have it. And Jason, yes, exactly. We'll get to see who likes a wet circuit today. I gave the guys a target time and there's only been one person who's got close that time. That is Cristiano Rally, who's just gone fastest. He is currently 5 tenths off of his best, and his target time was actually near enough identical to my time around this circuit. So, should be an interesting one for Chris. But the one to watch out for is Heiko, because Heiko, when we done the practice sessions yesterday, wasn't really getting any lap times in. He was trying to figure out like how much the car can slide. So he didn't get a respective lap time from Heiko. So it's going to see what comes out of it when this happens. So the track temperature is lovely, actually, at 24 degrees track temp, even though it's only 19 degrees air temp. So the track is keeping some heat in there, but this water's not going to help it. As we see Mr. Ken Estep in his new colour scheme of his livery off there in the gravel trap behind, he's gone back to the pits. Also, guys, as the new DLC is coming out on the 30th of this month, I am looking at the end of this month, so just as the end of next month, just after the Simpit Patreon race that's going to be on ACC, maybe even the day before, I'm not 100% sure just yet. I'll be running a Friday night, well, Saturday morning for me, Friday night USA time. Normally at the same time as our Oval League, so a late night one for me. A very short, very small season of GT3s on all the new circuits. So keep an eye on that one, guys, from the US. That is one that's going to be on your times, on massive your time zone, for get as many of you out there as possible to take part. As Chris has gone put another new fast lap of 1:47.845. That is a very respectable time. This is the times that we're looking at for the guys to be doing today. So Heiko still hasn't put a lap time in, but he is now out on track. So we'll switch over to Heiko. Still looks like he's being very tentative going around. This is another out lap. He's still not put a respectable lap time in. We've just got 2 minutes left of free practice, and then we will be going into qualifying. So guys, I'll bring up everyone's manufacturers for you so you can see what cars are doing well. Now at the moment it is top 3 are BMWs, then it's Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Audi, BMW and Porsche. Porsche's going to struggle here because of that rear engine, but also because the engine is right over those rear tyres. As long as you can hold it and keep the grip in the tyre, that thing's going to pull. The only time it's going to let go is if that tyre gets loose and you break the traction from it. So currently, Mr. James Allen, he's in the pits. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go. Natalie's just spun off, it looks like, behind. Yes, she has. She's up in the gravel trap from being behind Heiko. As you see, it is very wet out there today. Let us know if the game volume is a little bit quiet. I can adjust it. I'll do it during the end of free practice and transition, just so the game doesn't freeze for you whilst we are going in there and doing some adjustabilities. Let's see Mr. Stephen McAfee in his Porsche, sorry. He's put a lot of practice in. He's been doing a lot of practice on the doing with AI to simulate things like how the mist from the other cars in front is going to affect the cars behind, because that's going to be a lot of things here. Not being able to see where you're going. Also, as he's just gone too wide, and that's his lap dirtied. So he's letting Natalie up the inside there. So Natalie's lap's dirty, Chris's lap's dirty, a lot of the drivers' laps are dirty. So we are going to head over to the track over there. As you can see, this was filmed on a different day of the week. This was filmed on Thursday. Natalie goes big sideways into turn 1 there. So we'll switch over to there and I will get everything sorted for qualifying. So the guys are just finishing up. We've just got just one more card across the line, and we'll be then into the first stages of qualifying. So just waiting for Mr. Hiker Sherman actually to cross the line. He's just going into the last sector now, so. There's the overlay of Zandvoort. Just to the other side of behind the grandstands here, just to the right hand side is the beach. Hello Amir, why are you not here? I know you are doing the 6 hours of Watkins Glen this weekend with obviously the guys from Simpit and working hard on the delivery and the setup for that, so it's a shame not to see you out on track with us tonight, but it would be good. Yeah, and if you don't know guys, that is over on iRacing, so watch, I do believe we're going to have it live on the our Twitch channel, so keep an eye on there. But we're going to go back over to the track now as the guys are just rolling out of the pit lane. So we look over at Mr. Ken and his new colour scheme now. Dropping the green, going with the red instead of having the blue, going straight black carbon fibre. More of an aggressive look for that Ferrari. Still keeping with his green auxiliary lights. But a nice new colour scheme there for him. Just need to bring up my race control apps just because they've minimised themselves, what I don't need. Amir, no worries. Also Amir, have you seen that GT World Challenge America has now fully been, well, partially been teased for ACC, coming at the end of this month on the 30th. Just been messaged a minute, so I just want to check the time quickly. So guys, I'll just out them now, getting on their first laps eventually. So what I do need to do is just go onto the YouTube myself, just as I am to do some bits and bobs. So I've dropped a little bit of information. I dropped a pack that had the BOPs for the cars. It had also got a pace bin that'll show you, yeah, that's the pace bin that'll show you the BOPs. I've also put in the whole setup guide as a PDF file that you can always download and have a look through. But yes, the new tracks are coming very shortly. I'm so glad for what we've been working on behind the scenes and that. That's myself and the guys from Mercedes. We've been doing a lot of work with ACC to make sure that everything seems right for the cars on the track. So, be a good one to keep an eye out. Yes, Jason, exactly. It's raining cats and dogs, but at least it may keep the sand off the track. That's the thing. The rain, the weather reports earlier through the weekend was like words going to say that the rain was going to be even worse than this. This is only a medium to heavy rain. The forecast was shown that the track would have been in a flooded state originally. So glad it's not flooded, but it could have been a possibility that it was going to be. So at the moment, no one's actually put a lap time in, but we are going to put over their qualification personal best deltas.
Hey, can't race cars through flooded roads.
Oh, the thing is, the more the guys drove around the circuit, they would actually make a dry line. It wouldn't obviously be fully dry, but it would be a much drier line than a full wet lap, would it be? So when the guys do put a respectable lap time in, guys, the tags on the side will change as always. So Chris Generelli is the fastest car on track right now with a 1:49.3. We have seen in free practice he was faster, so expect that to gain time. Ken Estep is currently in second place with 1:52.6. So as you can see now, the green markers are showing that their lap hits for now fastest. Unless Mum's gone fastest now with a 1:48.392. Expect the times to literally start falling, and we'll see quite a few names flickering at the top of that leaderboard. So it's Stephen McAfee in his Porsche just behind Mr. Callum McLeod. In the Mercedes, absolutely dragging it around for us. As we look back from Stephen McAfee, as you can see, you can't see nothing directly behind him. Imagine now being that car behind, having to face that. It's going to make it very, very difficult for all our drivers today. So it does look like we're going to have a bit of a smaller grid today. Only 9 people have made it. Obviously, we do know Mr. Amir-Assad is working heavily on the new Mercedes livery for iRacing. For the guys also working on the setup, because that is a big event, much bigger than what we do. It's a 6-hour race there. It's part of the series, so that ends up as part of a big championship. And as Amir just said in the chat, he is only here to see Callum spin. And are we going to see Callum spin? That's the thing. Are we going to see Callum spin? We have seen a few already spin, but mostly it's actually been a Heiko during practice.
Well, this is actually rain, so it's going to increase the chances of Callum spinning out.
So just look from the hood cam there. Now we're on the front end camera. It's not the camera that I would preferably want us to be looking at there. I would love the splitter cam, but we didn't get it. There's a Callum spin.
There it is.
He kept hold of it. It's
not even the race.
He kept hold of it though. The only person who really spun there was Stephen McAfee. He went actually off into the gravel behind Callum. So it is Chris Generelli first, Natalie Lee second, Alesh Mum third. Callum is in fourth at the moment. Obviously that would not happen this time a lot, as Heiko Sherman now just puts in a 1:48.0 to put himself up into second. There's the lap times we've been waiting for Heiko over all week for practice. So you can see when the guys are on fast laps or not fast laps right now. Actually, Amir's just put in the Simpit channel. Thank you for sharing the stream, Amir. I do forget every single week to do it. We are waiting actually on one person to show up who hasn't shown up just yet, who always normally pokes his nose, and that actually Mr. Brandon Carl's not here either. But the one person I'm waiting for to turn up in chat is Mr. Terry Crouch. Terry always turns up normally just as we start the race itself, so be in about 12 minutes or so. Last week he literally turned up as we hit the green light. So I don't know if Callum is running the normal aggressive setup or my wet setup that I did give him. So we see Mr. Heiko Sherman. He's up on his time right now. Needs to find 2 tenths to be faster than Mr. Chris Generelli. Does look like he's up that much at the moment. Oh, he loses all that time right there, I believe. Natalie Lee's now up into second. Heiko's just dirtied his lap, I believe. Heiko did not improve, so that's Natalie still up into second, holding that place. There he is. Terry's been lurking, and Heiko just went off in turn 1 again. Heiko is definitely struggling in these wet conditions. I think we found Heiko's kryptonite, and that is wet weather. So Terry, have you heard then, as you've been lurking, about the new DLC that is coming on the 30th of this month? It is GT World Challenge America. It's not been fully named, but it's very obvious what it is. We're going to be running a Friday night, and I mean Friday night, so evening time for you guys over in the States. It'll be 2 AM my time, so it's going to be the same time as our oval circuits. Friday night, going to be starting maybe on the 29th of July, so you've got quite a while yet. This could be the day before we do the Patreon race. It's also going to be on ACC, but we are going to be doing a American race. So all the new tracks are all going to be in that series, and also for the ACC Season 3, as well as we're doing GT4s, there's going to be a lot of new tracks. The tracks are going to be coming into that series as well. So we might even progress from a 12-round series up even more. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, but do keep an eye out on that. Lurking but not chatting was the first time for everything. Yeah, it makes a change for you. As Miss Natalie Lee is now the fastest person on track with a 146.7. That is a lot faster than Chris. Chris is 147.1. Chris is going to have to put some work in to get up there. So as we look from Callum McLeod's helmet cam here, then we look back at Stephen McAfee on his dashboard in Porsche. I think we can see Miss Natalie Lee here taking first place in qualifying. As we look at Jaroslav Galkov. Yes, Terry, you're going to actually have to learn ACC. There's also a setup guide that I have dropped in the ACC channel. It's the one that I made before, but it's all now down into a PDF file. I've also dropped the BOP of each car. That also in that pace bin, it has brake temperatures like you're looking for each set time. Each set, what the brake pads do, like how much they deteriorate and so on and so forth. Also has the ideal tire pressures as well, so it would be a good word to have a read through that as well, Terry. Like I said, Terry, if you ever want some coaching for ACC, let me know. I'm always here to help any of the guys. If anyone wants to do some like one-to-one on coaching sessions, or want to pick up pointers, or want to learn more about the sim and like what bits work, what bits don't work, always either DM me or try to like just grab me in chats or something like that. Message. I can set up a server that could just be me and yourself, and you can go out there and do stuff. I can also look at your Motec data if you really want to as well. But out on track, Miss Natalie Lee, her time is currently the fastest. She's in the pits at the moment. Chris Generelli, he's not on a clean lap at the moment. Heiko Sherman, he's in the pits as well. Alesh Mom is in 4th. Jaroslav Galkov, he's in 5th. Callum McLeod is 5th. Stephen McAfee is 7th. It looks like he's pulling off in the end exit of turn 1. Ken Estep is 8th, and Mr. James Downing in the Audi is bringing up the rear currently. The safe and aggressive setups are worth using. If you want to find that extra little bit of time, some custom setups are very good. So let's say you find the safe setup is okay, it's really good, but you're not getting enough turning. You can see like what is happening. Am I getting low speed understeer? And the setup guide will help you to say, okay, change these settings, and that will help you. And also the default setups are set up for certain weather. So if the track temperature needs to be at 30 and the air temp is at 24 degrees, I believe. So air temp 24, track of 30, and the ideal setup is literally just get in and go. The tire pressures will be pretty much spot on, straight out of the box there and then. But you always are looking for dry tyres of 27.65, so that's why we always go for 27.7. Obviously there's a bigger window between like 27.4 and 28.0. The wet weather tyres, what the guys are on today, the window is between 29.5 psi and 30.5 psi. So the ideal spot for the wet tyres is bang on 30 psi. But yes, you can be fast on the aggressive and wet and the safe setup straight out of the box. I know some of the guys today are probably using the preset wet setup. I think the only person who I know who's got a full custom setup, I don't know if he's actually running it, is Mr. Callum Cloud, because he's running my Mercedes wet setup. I know Heiko is looking at doing a setup for today as well. Stephen McCaffrey was doing the same. But you can literally get in and go with the wet setup here today. The only thing they'll need to do is raise the tyre pressures because the temperature is not what the wet preset would be ready for. So you're losing the rear end in ACC. That could be that the rear bump stops are too high. That could also be that it's got too much rake or not enough wing. So could be multiple things for that. It also could be that where you're trying to push that hard that you could be running a too low a TC. Most of the time in my Mercedes, even on the dry track, I'm running TC6 where TC1 is the lowest. Obviously TC0 is off. The more higher the number in ACC for any number is more open or more biting point for like your traction control and ABS. Jaroslav Galkov, he's in the pits alone. Chris Generali, he's out on track. As the cameras automatically switch over to him without even having to click. It was nice to see. So Heiko is in third as well. But both of them are improving their lap. Can Chris keep this on track? Oh, it does, but he's lost a lot of time there. He's now equal on his best now, but a little bit less. I believe we're going to see a new pole sitter here with Miss Natalie Lee, but Chris does have it. He just missed up that corner a second ago just to make himself a little bit struggle. This is the time now you want to be everyone out on track, get as many cars around it as possible. Plus also, with this being the last bit of qualifying, you don't want someone jumping at the last second. Yeah, exactly, Terry. Sometimes even the base setups and if that could end up you being like your inputs being different, like not correct to how the car works, but also could be that the setup is not working around you. You got to work with the car, and the car's got to work around you. You find that perfect balance, and that's when you'll be getting really, really fast. Yeah, exactly, Terry. That's the thing, is like you come into one game, one sim, you'll find that you're really, really fast. You go into another sim, you're really, really slow. I find that with iRacing, when I go onto the iRacing, go into the road series or anything like that, I find myself extremely slow. The Mercedes, obviously, I've done a lot of work with the guys that behind the scenes by giving them info and details and so on and so forth. So that's helped. Chris is off track. Chris is in the wall. Chris has come off track in the very end of qualifying. So yes, I would say ACC is Terry's kryptonite right now. But I think with like 1 or 2 days of just like a couple of hours of coaching, you know, just like getting stuff to work, I think Terry could be an absolute animal in ACC. Just needs the time of putting into it. So Chris Generelli, he's in the pits. Miss Natalie Lee, she's on track. Heiko Sherman, he's out on track. He's got to be winding up now just to get another lap in. Someone put a ban on his credit card so he can't pay for iRacing anymore. That's what we need for you, Terry. So Josh, 1 minute to go. Who have you got for top of qualifying? The only person who can do it now is Heiko. Natalie's in the pits. Chris is in the pits. Unless Mum could. Unless Mum's not that far off. But unless Mum would have to put a bang in the lap for them. So as we coming now to the line, we have 22 seconds left to qualify. Heiko's now just started a new lap. This is going to be the lap that we need to keep an eye on. Can he jump Chris Generelli? Can he jump Natalie Lee? It's 5 seconds left to qualify. This will be the end of qualifying as we speak right now. So Natalie Lee, her laps, she's finished. Chris Generelli, he's finished. Callum McLeod, he's finished. James Downing, he's finished. So only a few cars can improve. Heiko is down on his lap time right now. Heiko is stopping. Heiko is pulling up. Heiko is going to start third. So Natalie Lee is going to take her first pole unless Mr. Alesh Mum can pull his finger out and gain a massive amount of time. I don't think he can. He has started a new lap, so it's only Jaroslav Galkov, Stephen McAfee, Ken Estep and Alesh Mum who are on a lap right now. So see Jaroslav Galkov, he's on the lap. He's down at the moment. Alesh Mum is up on his time, so is Stephen McAfee, so is Ken Estep. These are going to be the ones to watch out for. Alesh Mum has equalled their time. I've done it. So Jaroslav Galkov, he is down on time. He's not improving. So Galkov does stay in P5 at the moment. See McAfee, can he improve? He does improve but stays in 7th. Ken Estep, can he improve? Does improve and stays 8th, and Mr. Alesh Mum brings up the rear and stays 4th. So Natalie Lee takes her first pole position for the season. We're going to go over to track info screen and I'll just set up the information for you for the race. Guys are on the grid waiting to go out. Not long now until we start, so we're going to switch back over to the track. As you can see, this was taken on Thursday. This nice looking track there, nice and sunny, no issues. But we go to today and unfortunately it's raining for everyone. So as you can see now, we do have the mandatory pit signs. We're looking at Ken Estep on broadcast. We're going to bring that up to mid-pack through Jaroslav Galkov. Looking from his front split in a second. We're just going to go through the cameras just so I can see what's working and what is not. You can see everyone's wiper blades are on now. The guys are going to go. So we're going to go over to the helicopter cam. We're going to stick with the helicopter cam, looking at the mid-pack, just so we can see roughly everyone else. The cars are rolling now. Natalie Lee doing a little bit out there, just to get some temperatures in, so those tyres, I would definitely advise that right now. I'm going to smooth down this information, so I'm going to raise caps on here, and then also have none on the side. So we're going to make this as small as possible. Unfortunately, it is one of the things we do have to keep. So at the moment, at the front, it's all of our BMWs, guys. Have a look. All BMWs at the front. That's going to be one to keep an interest on. There's a few cars out of position, I don't believe so. Just got to keep an eye on the speed. And we are green, we are underway. This spray, guys, is going to be absolutely amazing for guys to drive through. I'm going to struggle here. So the guys at the back are being safe. Okay, so we are clean through the start. I do apologise if you drop a frame right then. We have had no contact so far, it was nice to see. We're now switched over to the automatic camera system. So Natalie Lee, she's already pulling away from the pack here. Christian already in second, Heike Sherman third. The only bit of change we had at the start is Mr. Ken Estep dropping back to 9th. Yeah, and this is only like a medium to or heavy-ish rain. The track can be even worse conditions than this. This is only a wet track. We could go all the way up to a flooded track. And if we go really extreme on the weather choices, we could even have thunderstorms, and then you basically cannot drive. It is to the point where you are 30 to sometimes even a minute off a normal lap time. So this is going to be the worst the conditions are going to be for these guys. I'm not going to throw them into anything harder than this just yet. Maybe for next season, especially considering we're going to be in the GT4s next season. So it will be interesting. Does look like everyone is being sensible considering the weather. So even though it's a wet race, the guys and girl still have to take a mandatory pit stop and change tyres. That will be something we look at for next season, depending on if it is going to be a 100% wet race for over the whole weekend, or a mixed if we keep with the mandatory pit stop. What we'll most likely say, there's a mandatory pit stop in the next series, but no pit windows. So the guys can pit from literally lap 1 all the way up to the very final lap. They will have to still do a tyre change. And also, we are going to make it so they have to refuel, but refueling will count as 1 litre if they wanted to. So we are going to incorporate that. So to look from Cristiano Ronaldo, he's still trying to catch up with Natalie. Natalie is pulling away from him. I was very surprised to see here. Pack does look very even out though, all across. The autopilot is working, it's just sticking here, Chris. I'm going to make it manual second. So I'm going to have a look at a less from Mum. So Natalie just puts faster than that, but then Christian Ray goes, no, I'm going faster. Only a couple of thousandths in that. It's only 7 thousandths of a second between those 2 lap times. Also guys, if there's anything you want me to change for next season, stream or anything like that, let me know. Like, give me ideas, stuff that we can do, stuff that we can work out. Because I would like to give everyone time on the stream. I would like to give more information if needed. So any improvements you can think of, let me know. We're going to have a look further back, and Stephen McAfee's behind Mr. Callum McLeod there. Looks like one of the closer battles on the track right now. The only rule I am going to bring in for next season, mainly aimed at for when we go back to GT3s, actually, so there's going to be a tester for next season, is that all the guys have to run full enduro lights at all times. They have to run both stages of headlights, and obviously as it's wet they have to have them mandatory rain light on as well. As we do see Stephen McAfee doesn't actually have his rain light on. Natalie Lee goes fastest again, and then Chris Generelli straight after. No. You are not taking this lap from me. As there you go, Chris Generelli's lap time's just popped up now. See Mr. James Allen in his Audi. He's going to look at the battle now between Callum McLeod and Mr. Stephen McAfee. We're going to have a look at that rear splitter camera. See how bad it is, because you can't see that at all. So that's the view Stephen pretty much got. We're looking from his front splitter. It's very wet out there, guys. I would not want to be out there today racing with the guys. I'm quite happy up here in the commentary booth. Some of the guys said even though it's going to be very wet, it's going to be very, very sweaty for them, considering they're going to be absolutely fighting these cars left, right and centre during this entire race. So I was just like, yep, that's good. Like to see it. So we're going to look over our Russian friend, Jaroslav Galkov. He's not doing too bad this time. Keeping off the walls this time, unlike unfortunately at Bathurst. But Bathurst is a very awkward circuit. You've got to be so confident there. Unfortunately, he was beating himself up last time. This time, he looks very good. Callum McLeod gets a big mistake there. Does that let... Oh, I thought Stephen McAfee was going to get around him then, so we just hop back there to have a look. Natalie's just put a new fastest lap in, and Chris has not matched it this time. He was slower this time. It was his new best time, but not as fast as Natalie's. Mr. Ken Estep, he's fallen back a bit with his Ferrari. Have a look at Ken in his new livery Ferrari. James Downing's going to show. Yeah, in fact, James Downing's off the track. Oh, please stay still.
Ooh.
Oh, a bit of a bad rejoin, but Ken has got around him. So this is the problem now. He did put it into the wall all on his own. Has he got, how much damage has he got? Is he going to have to pit early just to fix his damage of that? That's going to push him way down. So we look on board now with our race leader, Miss Natalie Lee. She is absolutely flying. Currently a best of a 146.767. Oh, going a little bit off there. It's not what she wants to do. Let's put Chris Generelli right behind her now. Making that, coming over that brow of the hill into your braking zone in the wet is really difficult. So we see the gap is only just about 1 second gap. So just going to bring up some more data. I'm just going to check. So as you can see, no one's done their pit stops yet. Wasn't expecting anyone to. I would bring up nations, but Sim Racing GP doesn't actually give out the information. What does, unfortunately, suck. But again, look, all four at the front is still all the BMWs. What can break these BMWs is path, guys. What can slow these guys down? We'll have to wait and see. Also, the American Series, guys, especially for you, Terry, we are limiting the amount of BMWs. We're limiting the amount of Mercedes. We're limiting all cars. So you can have two. You can have the old Audi Evo. You can have the new Audi Evo, but there'll only be 3 of each of those 2 cars. So you can be 3 Audi Evo 2s. And there can be 3 Audi Evo 3s, but there'll be never more than those 3 of each car. So if you pick a McLaren, there's only going to be 2 other slots for the McLaren, and then no one else can pick it. We're going to try to limit it down just so not everyone's going to turn up in a BMW. But for that reason is why you have the old BMW M6 in there as well. We have the old Evo in there. We have both models of the Ferrari available. That's because of obviously, and the same with the Audi as well, and the Mercedes is because the Evos, the newest Evos, are DLC cars. So if you don't have them, you can still compete. But this race, I think this is going to be Natalie Lee's race, you know. Christian Reddy's last lap was only 5 hundredths off. It's going to be very exactly that, Terry. It's going to be first come first serve. I am going to open up the selections for that soon. I will give everyone a 48 hours heads up, a 24 hours heads up, a 12 hours heads up, and then 6 hours, then 3 hours, and then 10 minutes before I will say server is going, the championship is going live in 10 minutes, be prepared. And then as soon as it goes live, I'll also then spam again saying get your choices in now. So yes, it's going to be first come first serve. No specialties for anyone who's like, I want to pick the BMW right now. You're not having it. You've got to wait. So if that means we have to get Mr. Heiko Sherman in a different car, I don't know if he'll compete because then it will be late. And also Terry, I get my car choice now or no drive. Well, Terry, I would pick a car that you feel comfortable in. Don't forget, there's all the cars feel everything's different. And also, Terry, I might even race in that league. So if I do, well, that would be an interesting one because my contract with Mercedes is running up soon. So we will see where I'm going to be driving next. That's just my esports side. It's not going to be my actual racing side. My esports contract is coming up very shortly. No, basically when you sign up to the championship, until the first day you can change your cars. As soon as the first race of the championship starts, you are locked in. Yes, so that is possible. So you can be practicing in the car right now. So yes, you can. That's what I said. Work on what cars you want, like you feel comfortable in, like now before the season starts. You can get your sign up done, so you can like try to like maybe even cock block someone. So like let's say Heiko does want to drive the BMW, but you have you and Mia and let's say Chris Generelli sign up in the Beamer. He can't then sign up to it, and then the day before you can then go, oh no, I'm going to drive the Lexus. What opens up that slot, and Heiko's then got to be on his A game to see that the car has been available to him to switch it over into. So a bit of fun and games can end up happening through that. But it is just something I want to try, and I thought, as it's going to be a very, very small league, nothing serious. I doubt we're not going to have a trophy for it, but it's just going to be something to see. Let's see. So not getting in the server, but when you sign up is the live. No, the deadline is race 1 as soon as the server goes live. After that, you cannot change cars in ACC through how the series. When you sign up for a championship, you're locked to a car. If we did it through like running a series or running a single event each time, then we could change cars every single race. But because we run it as a championship, because then it can do points scored in, and we can work out who's won that way. Well, through series is very difficult unless you manually do it. As soon as you sign up, you can sign up and change cars as much as you want. As soon as that round 1 launches, or let's just say you sign up halfway through the season, like let's say you sign up for the season right now, you still got open choice. I will talk to Sean about making a trophy especially for it, okay? I'll make sure. But let's say you sign up like between rounds 3 and 4, you can still change your car. But it's until you take part in your first race is when then you get knocked into the car. But new fastest lap here by Heiko Sherman. Literally 1,000th of a second faster than Miss Natalie Lee. Natalie Lee won at 46.767. Heiko Sherman at 146.757. This front group is pulling away from Aleshmum here, but the lap times are extremely tight between every single driver here. I have gone off on a bit of a tangent talking about the next leagues. I do apologise for that. That is a problem about me having ADHD and dyslexia. It's a standard issue to get sidetracked and go off on a tangent. But Miss Natalie Lee is pulling away now. She's got a 2-second gap. Heiko is slowly, very slowly, pulling in Chris Generelli. Aleshmum is 9 seconds back, all on his own. He's got a nice space between him and Jaroslav Galkov, who has Callum McLeod and Stephen McAfee right behind him. But unfortunately, James Downing is 16 seconds back from Mr. McAfee. And a further 6 seconds back with Mr. Ken Estet down in 9th position. We have seen no incidents between the drivers. Pit entrance here is another awkward one. Pit exit is straight into the turn-in of turn 1. It's not the new layout, as I said, because the new layout we would be exiting after turn 1. So as you can see, the guys will be turning directly left, and just before the end of the wall is where the pit lane marker is. So the guys will have to keep an eye on that. Nice spits of flames there coming from that BMW and Chris Generelli's there. See that lap time, Heiko was the slowest out of the 3. Heiko with a 147.6, Chris with a 147.5, Matthew with a 146.9. So yes, Heiko sometimes get those fast laps in, but then he does make a very small mistake. Just dropping off on Chris Generelli. He's putting his foot down, going no, I'm not going to keep you close. As we just come up to 20 minutes into today's race. Looking for the dash cam with Chris Generelli. Looking at Natalie up in front. We're going to have a look further back here. We're going to look at Mr. Stephen McAfee. He's just behind Mr. Callum McLeod. Callum was a bit closer a minute ago to Mr. Jaroslav Galkov, but he's fallen back a little bit now. Unfortunately for our Audi and Ferrari driver at the back here, they are unfortunately really falling back. This is where, like I keep saying, practice does help. and also feeling confident. Obviously, I know this rain is making a lot of people very uncomfortable in the cars. As you see, Callum's gained back that second to Jaroslav here. Can he get them to just to grip through here and get the toe? Looks like he's getting a bit of toe, but not too much. So Josh, anything that's caught your eye so far that may cause problems for people later on during the race? I do not believe Josh is there at the moment, unfortunately. As we switch over to our race lead, Miss Natalie Lee in her BMW. She does have a V-tuber on the roof of this little car. She is also streamed live on Twitch right now, this race. So there's a little line now, just starting to show fully. Track temp is staying up, it's at 22 degrees right now. Air temp has stayed at 19. There is no wind showing, so the guys are getting a... Doesn't look like this weather's going to shift at all for this race. It is going to stay wet. Now 38 minutes remaining. 3 minutes now until the pit lane does open. The pits are going to be another make or break around this track. We'll check that data a minute. Chris Generelli did make a mistake there. Heiko Shimon is now right behind him. So they've got their main lights on, they don't have their endurance lights on. Chris doesn't have his rain light on, Heiko does. And that car being black, it's a bit easier to see. I wish there's a way that ACC does automatic lights but doesn't do automatic rain light. I wish there's a way that we can make it do it. So Heiko now gets very close to Chris here. I think just Chris has just got the capabilities of keeping it clean. So Stephen McAfee, he's had an incident as well. He was right behind Callum Cloud. He's fallen back now 5 seconds from Callum. So his lap is... He's gone off track slightly this lap, so has Chris Generelli. That's what I'm getting the information from race control. So the artifacting that you're seeing on the screen is mainly massively just due to the wet weather in ACC. It's not really massively optimized. The conditions of like how you drive in the wets and everything like that is correct. But the only thing is just the artifacting in the graphics could be better. It could not be there. But again, as always, I'm nitpicking. I nitpick because I know what this game could be. So Ken Esther is shown as going slow, but he's not going slow. So he's got 35 seconds left. So as you can see, that pit lane is right on the entrance there. Looking over our race lead again. roughly. So the pit window opens in 10 seconds from now. Okay, so the pit window is now open for the next 10 minutes. We're going to see who's going to come in early. Natalie, she's staying out. Chris Generelli, he's staying out. Heike Sheeran's staying out. I think some of these lower down guys here, like someone like Alesh from could get in, get some fresh wets on, get going. Is Alesh going to come in early? No, Alesh stays out as well. Which, like I said, it is quite a bit of a gap now. Spreading out. So Jaroslav Galkov, is he coming in the pits early? Yes, he's coming in the pits early. So it's Callum McLeod. Did Callum slow down quick enough? We'll have to see. So this is two of our mid-pack in the pits now. Can Callum make a decent stop that Mr. Jaroslav Galkov is not going to run away from him? His pit stop is working, he is good. So here comes Mr. Ken Estep. Ken is also staying out on track. I think Ken's going to stay outside just so he can also turn around and say, no, I am ahead of these guys for a minute. So we go back at the front. Callum McLeod has already cleared his pit. Callum McLeod did not change tyres during his pit stop. So guys, I'm going to have to jump into the race, I do apologise. I wish you was supposed to be easier. I do apologise that we do drop frames there. I'm trying to figure out why it does that. We tried multiple different things. It still does it, unfortunately. I will go also into the voice in a second, so give me 1 second. Callum McLeod, your pit stop has not validated. Please.
Follow the pit stop.
Callum McLeod has towed. I do believe he is going to retire here, as he's just teleported back, unfortunately for him. So yes, Callum McLeod did just retire, unfortunately, from the race. I think he got too annoyed that the pit stop didn't validate for him. Again, that is something that is part of the league. So see, Alesh Rum's pit stop has been validated. Anything that comes up with a green marker when they've run in the pits. I was looking at Callum McLeod's time, I was looking at his stationary time, and it wasn't equal to what it needed to be, unfortunately. So we're going to keep an eye on this front pack here. So that's led Stephen McAfee now to be able to have some clear space, get some laps in, and maybe, just checking there's a yellow flag for him, maybe can gain some time now and catch up to Jaroslav Galkov. It's looking like Heiko's falling back now. He was very close to Christian. He's dropped back. Can step? He's going to start. I think he's just had a little spin. There has been still no contact of any collisions between any drivers. James is in the pits. Ken Estep is in the pits as well. They're going to take their mandatory stops. Still looking over the front couple of drivers. Natalie has still got Christian behind. They're still staying out. They're going to make it do it at the very last second. If I was Heiko, I'd get in. Get some fresh tyres on. Try to push. As Chris James Dowling has just come out right between Heiko and Chris Generelli here. I would definitely have wanted to take my stop there. I would not want to be where Heiko is right now. That is caused some major issues for Heiko. One, because of the spray. Two, the lap traffic. As you can see, James is getting waved blue flags here. He doesn't have to jump up and get out of the way. He just cannot defend an overtake. So the rule is, so when Heiko dives him, he cannot defend. He has to let him through. Other than that, he does not have to slow down at any time. So he's gone wide there, so he can't defend. Yep, Heiko's gone through on the inside. I'll still have that autopilot on, but it's not working as well as I would like it to. It doesn't really like, unfortunately, smaller grids. So, Alesh Mull, Jaroslav Galkov, James Allen and Ken Estep have all taken their pit stops. The top four now are the only ones who haven't. Obviously, Steve McAfee is still to take his pit stop, so he will definitely be out of position right now. But there's the top three we know are definitely fighting. They need to take their stop. They got to do it this lap or next. Natalie's coming in pit stop right now. Oh! Did Natalie just speed into pit lane? That's going to be very close, guys. That could have been one, a hit into the wall. Two, this could be a time penalty coming up from Natalie Lee. It will be absolutely devastating for her race. So I am keeping an eye on my board to see if anything flags up saying a drive-through or a stop-go. If it says a stop-go, we will have to remove it and drop it down to a drive-through. As we don't like having the fast pit stops here. These top three, Chris Generelli, as I Steve McAfee is in a bit. So Heiko Sherman and Chris Generelli have to pit this lap or they are going to be outside the pit window. They do have to stop in this race and they have to stop in the next minute and 38 seconds. So they've got this lap to do it in. They are not going to be able to get around to do one more. Natalie Lee's pit stop is cleared. She is now back out on track. Again, I will have to switch into game and have a quick view. Natalie does have a stop go first, and she did speed into pit lane. Let's check if anyone else has a pit stop. They do. Stephen McAfee has the exact same penalty come in. So unfortunately that has screwed up quite a few of the drivers there. Yeah, Deadman did a bonk. Unfortunately, his pit stop didn't register. I don't know if that was he didn't take tyres or it took tyres but then didn't register. But Miss Natalie Lee, who was our race leader, had a sped in the pit lane. Obviously, we were moving it from stop go 30 down to a drive-through. Stephen McAfee also sped on pit lane. That's reduced down to a drive-through penalty. I do apologise for me coughing, guys. I am getting very warm here, and also the system screwed me justice for Deadman. Unfortunately, Deadman, the sim is how the sim is. Because even though you took your pit stop and that, it was still giving you a penalty that would have been bigger than coming in for another stop. So I'm just going to keep an eye out on track to make sure. I have to go back into the garage. Stephen McAfee has cleared his drive through. Okay. So all penalties have been cleared from drivers. But Natalie Lee, I bet she's kicking herself on her stream as she was leading this race. And unfortunately for her now, she is not. She's down in third. 16 seconds behind Heiko, who's 2.3 behind Chris Generelli here. Unless Rum is 8.5 seconds behind her. Jaroslav Galkov, he is 5 seconds behind Alesh. And then unfortunately we do have some big gaps then. 2 guys further back. So guys, we've got 22 minutes remaining of the race. Unfortunately, we have lost Mr. Callum McLeod, aka PS4 Deadman, in the chat. Only retirement of the race so far. Heiko Sherman now is right behind. He keeps falling back just a little bit behind Chris Generelli, so we're going to have a look over at their battle. I believe this is going to be the only battle now on the circuit. Everyone else is nicely spread out. Can Heiko home in on that other BMW and take first? Yeah, your battle between you, Jaroslav, and Stephen was very good. It was very good to watch. Unfortunately, the penalty did come your way, but also Steve McAfee got a drive-through penalty for speed on pit lane. Obviously, we remove stop-go 30s, so I think stop-go 30s are too big for penalties. That's why we drop them down. Check some small things. It's nothing important, so that's all good. No, it's not Deadman, it's the worst. I'd rather play. Ooh. Let's think. Super Mario Kart. Whilst being beaten to death. And have better handling. So, oh, he still go deep in that braking zone. I think he could gain some more time if he wasn't going so deep there, trying to push too hard. So Miss Natalie Lee, she's coming up to Ken on track now. Yes, I am a racing hater. There's something about it. The content itself is not great. They have wrong classes of cars for one on that sim. So we're going to keep an eye on this race. We've got just under 19 minutes to go. Chris generally is in first, followed by Heiko Sherman. Natalie Lee, unfortunately, the game wanted to give her a stop go 30 for speeding on pit lane. I reduced it down to a drive-through. There's a less from Mum. Jaroslav Galkov. Mr. James Downing in his Audi up to 6th. Stephen McAfee, he also sped on pit lane. He got his stop go 30 reduced down to a drive-through as well. I'm gonna have a talk with the guys from ACC TV to see if there's a way to have a chat box on their broadcasting system so I can put the penalties in and it automatically registers and gives the notification in game instead of having to switch, because that does seem to make us lag. I'm also going to see if that can fix us. James Downing, he's off track. It's the second time for James that he's had a crash today. It looks like he's kept it off the wall this time. Last time he did put the front end into the tyre wall. Hey Booth, it's a little bit wet. Not too bad. That's the thing, I'm not as bad as an iRacing fanboy because I just wish there's something with racing that doesn't work well. Even though I don't like iRacing that much, I still will race iRacing. I do it a lot, but I just don't feel there's something right with it. There's nothing goes around the outside of Kenner step there. No worries, Booth. Like I said, I've said it to everyone. Family, work, it all comes first before sim racing. Always said that. Sim racing is something that's nice to do that we can do when we're free. But yeah, exactly, Terry. No way Cam died again. In other news, water is wet. Yeah, exactly. But also in other news, as Devon might not have seen yet so far, ACC new DLC just been teased to come out on the 30th of this month. So we'll be out for July 4th, and it is going to be GT World Challenge America. Exactly, Terry. You're correct. As James Downing looks like he's off again. James is having an absolute mare this race. The weather is really playing havoc for him. Let's just go back to the front. Heiko is still only 1.3 behind Chris. He's still not being able to catch him. Their fastest lap times only 1/10 in it at 1:46.985 for Chris. A 1:46.995 for Heiko Sherman. So I don't know how their fast lap times are shown as Heiko being the fastest lap time, considering Chris has the fastest lap time. I do believe that's a mistake there coming through from ACC, because our information that comes up on our timing screens, that's also what you can see on the screen right now, is through ACC's programming. See, even I will rip into ACC, even though I do stuff like behind the scenes with them. I will still rip into him. So obviously the pit window is closed. Everyone has taken a pit stop. Stephen McAfee is closing now on James, unfortunately, because of James's 2 mistakes. But this is the battle we have to keep an eye out on. Is Chris Generelli and Heiko Sherman. Because obviously this has got championship implications going on right here. Natalie Lee, she should have been first, unfortunately she sped on pit lane. So she got a drive-through penalty for that. It was obviously meant to be a stop-go 30. Again, any stop-go 30s I would have moved down and put them into a drive-through. Unfortunately she did speed into pit lane. What sucks, what is so bad for her, because she was in first place by nearly 5 seconds by the time she came into the pit lane itself. See, Heiko's just getting a little bit offline coming through on that corner. Pushes him just that bit that he can't get the run here on Chris. So there's 13 minutes to go. Can Heiko crawl his way up and get past Chris Generelli? That's the thing, he can get very close to him, but is he going to be able to pass him? That's going to be the other thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on. As they're not far from coming up to the lap, Mr. McAfee for a second time, just due to Mr. McAfee having that drive-through penalty as well for speeding on pit lane. Have a look at the pit lane times. Heiko was faster in the pits by nearly a whole second. Why are the BMWs always out front? It's because it's one of the more modern cars. It does have very good electronics to help it. Plus, also it has been BOP'd. And that it does seem that we're going to be BOPing it again in the future. It's because also if you're coming into ACC for the very first time, it's one car you can literally jump into and it'll be good. Where if you jump into something like the McLaren, it's one of the more awkward cars to get into, but it's also one of the very fast cars. So it does look like our fastest drivers also did all pick BMW this season, because whilst we've been doing free practice times and that, I've been in my Mercedes as always, and I've been absolutely walking away over the guys here for lap times. So again, it's down to fast drivers picking fast car and making the situation work. Exactly, BOP. We could do, as we were discussing last night, balance of performance is per each track, and I could add ballast to the car, I could add restrictor to the car, but it's something we are not doing for this season, and it won't be as a success ballast either. The only way we'll do any type of balance of performance is if we do it over the entirety of the manufacturer. So let's say Alex was crawling around in 8th place right now, right at the back of the grid, and you have Chris and Heiko here, and Natalie right at the front, pulling away still. Even Alex would have that same balance of performance added to his car. Again, Callum, that is set up and also the drivability of the car. I've seen the guys, the esports guys like George Boothby, Jardier, and all them lot when they're in the McLaren, and the McLaren is rapid. It's it's finding the right line to go through a corner that makes it so you still get a little hop, but it's not affecting the car. You have to be millimeter perfect on some corners, especially Nürburgring going through the chicane at the end, because it does have the cutting stones that have been removed in real life. So that's the cutting stones there. You got to nick it just right for it to pitch the car and get it to go fast. But if you take it that's literally 5 degrees less angle, it will absolutely murder you. Or if you go over it too much on whilst got the correct angle, it will kill you. You have to be millimeter perfect, and that's where the esports come into it. They are pinpoint accurate, lap after lap after lap. That there's literally thousandths of a second off, like, between their lap times, where there could be like 6 or 7 tenths between our lap times per lap. So that's where all that balance can come into it. We are now in the final 10 minutes of the race. Heiko is right behind, but he's again falling right back. McAfee showing that he's going slow, but looking at the track map, he is not. He is still motoring. Exactly, Monza. You look at them not going through there. They're doing 146, 145s around there, and yet you're doing it with like basically the same type of setup as them. And yet you looked at the curb and it said, okay, I'm firing you off into next week. It's all about that pinpoint accuracy. Some sims will be more lenient to you, some sims are more, no, I am going to give you this inch, but if you go an inch and 1 more millimeter, I'm going to kill you. That's where you got to work it all out to. As we just hear the Porsche of Mr. Steve McAfee, unfortunately down into 7th, motoring away there from these two. As these guys are coming up to lap it for a 2nd time, unfortunately. Actually, no, he's only just gone on to lap 28 as these guys are finishing lap 28, so he's actually still on the lead lap at the moment. The only person who has unfortunately been lapped is Mr. Ken Estep. As Ken keeps saying, it doesn't matter about what my finish position, I'm here to enjoy racing. And that's the main thing, enjoying your racing, guys. No matter what sim it is, enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't race it. Find something else that does match your racing style and what you want to do. It's like me, iRacing, I can't hack road racing on it. Can't hack it. My times are slow, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel happy. But you put me on dirt road, on the Pro 4 trophy trucks, or even the Pro 2s or the Pro 2 lights on the rallycross circuits, I can sit there all day and race all day long. Because unfortunately there's not enough races for that form for my liking. Plus also, because of such a small market, it doesn't help either. So like I said, it's all about finding that right spot for you. What makes you happy? So if it doesn't make you happy, why do it? That's the main thing. Why do it if it doesn't make you happy? Yeah, I don't like racing. I've said that myself. iRacing, I like it, but I think there's stuff I can work on better myself. I do race in iRacing, Terry, I just don't do much of it. So you do need to do some ACC. But yeah, I know you could give me pointers for iRacing, I could give you pointers for ACC. Me, it's just my lap times. I feel that for my lap times in ACC, I'm not there for iRacing. And that's one of the frustrations. Plus also the licensing system can be sometimes a nightmare for me as well. Especially when it says, oh, you can do these time trials, and you do the time trials and exactly what it's wanting you to do, and it still doesn't give you the MPR. because I've had that with the oval stuff. Because I've purchased some stuff for iRacing ovals. I'm finding no MPR races for oval. Not with us in league. See, I don't know. But also, is the timings as well as it's like for you for this. My timings are completely off, being in the UK. If I was in the US, I think I would have more better. I think I'd be more in the time zone. I know it doesn't matter in league stuff enough as that. So Stephen McAfee, well, I don't know why he's flashing his lights there. He shouldn't be flashing lights. I understood, Terry. Alright, got a spelling. So with just a couple more laps to go, Heike Sherman's still only 1.3 behind. Natalie has fallen back now. She's 20 seconds behind these guys, unless she's 20 seconds back from her. The reason why you like Nords so much is not because of it gets boring, it's because it's the same as Rally. There's so many corners, it makes it interesting. Like Rally, I love Rally stuff. I'm just slow at it, really slow, and I don't have my reaction time is not good enough for Rally. Really, is not good enough for Rally. But for racing, for like real life and on here, even though I'm looking at the exact same corner as I would for Rally and turning roughly at the same point, I just can't get over it. If I was going to try to get into ACC and a car that's not the BMW, what should I try to learn? Now Terry, what do you drive mainly in iRacing? Do you drive a mid-engine car? Do you drive a front-engine car? The front-engine cars in ACC have more capabilities of hitting the curbs. Mid-engine cars obviously got more pull for a corner in general. The Porsche, whilst obviously rear-engine, not as fast down, its top end is not so great, but its cornering speed is the fastest of all cars. I would say look at Jardia on YouTube. He dropped a video saying his 5 worst cars in ACC and the 5 best cars in ACC. If anything, I would say the new Audi, that's very good for mid-engine. For front engine, obviously the BMW is very good. The Mercedes is a bit awkward. The Lexus is very good in front engine. But if you want a very good front engine car, that's not the BMW. Is the Bentley. Is the Bentley. Bentley is a very good front engine car. Yeah, so maybe the Bentley instead of the BMW for front engined. Again, Mercedes is a very awkward car, but when you get the awkwardness dialed, it's a very good car. Mid-engine, the Ferrari Evo is very good. The Audi Evo 2 is very good. The Lamborghini is not so great. The top end speed of the Honda is very good. The Porsche again is not great on top end speed, but it's extremely grippy and it's got the fastest cornering speed of all cars. So, have a look. Also, another one to try is the Lexus. The Lexus is a extremely growly car. So, guys are coming up now. This is the final lap, guys. Heike has to dive here. He has to go for it. And he's not. I think that's going to be the only time that Heike can go for it here. So it looks like Chris Generelli is going to take another win, making his lead in the championship now even bigger from Heike. But Miss Natalie Lee, I do feel sorry for her. She should have won this race. Unfortunately, she did get that drive-through for speeding on pit lane. So time has just ticked over. Chris Generelli is going to come home and take today's victory here at a very wet Zandvoort. So congratulations, Chris Generelli. Heike Sherman's coming home in third. Miss Natalie Lee, she's coming around the final corner now. In her BMW, she's going to come home in third. Stephen McCaffey, he's finished in 7th. Yeah, the Lexus is definitely having worth a look at. Alesh currently on circuit, coming through the second to last corner. Yeah, it's a massive shame for Natalie. She should have won this race. She definitely should have won this one. So Heiko, sorry, Alesh comes home in 4th. Jarislav, he is coming around now. He's on the final straight. He's about to cross the line. James Dowling, he's just coming to the last sector as well. He's going to come home in 6th place. Kenneth across the line. He's going to finish in 8th. James Dowling, we're going to stay with James just as he crosses the line now. He's going to come home in good old 6th place. So congratulations to all the guys. Exactly, Terry. Like I said, any tips and tips I can help you guys with, I am more than welcome to help you. So the guys have finished today's race. They are making their way back into pit lane now. So next week, guys, we are heading over to the States. We are at Laguna Seca, if I am 100% correct. I'm just double checking, because we know what I'm like. I do mess stuff up very, very easily. So I'm just going to double check for you. So yes, next week we are at Laguna Seca, and it does look to be very dry and a very hot race. So from myself, Josh is here as well. I don't know if he's been very part of watching through the race today, so it's been mostly myself. I'm M.Vowles. I want to wish you good night, good afternoon, whatever it is for you in the world, whenever you're watching. Thank you for joining us. Take care, and we will see you next week for another round of the GT3 series at Laguna. So take care, goodbye.